All right, so this book I'm going to show you is quite an interesting series called Taking Sides, and there are many different topics that you can look at and many different fields, so this one being anthropology. And it's a great series because it can show you different perspectives on different questions that we have about different topics. And it was this book that I had to purchase in Anthropology 100 in my third year of university, where I sort of steered on a different path to doing a PhD rather than an MD. So it's sort of taking this unit in university really cemented my new career ideas. So I'll just show you a little bit about what the chapters are about. Before I do that, I'll just show you that there are different topics here that you can look at. Now this was up until, I'm not sure when this book was created, but look at all the different topics there. That's quite interesting. So let's go look at the different chapters. So as you probably know, anthropology is broken down into 4 subfields: biological anthropology, archaeology, linguistics, and cultural anthropology. So that's how this book is organized, which is quite interesting. It gives you a little bit of a snapshot on different relevant or current topics of discussion at the time this book was created, to sort of give you an idea of how things can be argued one way or the other. So we've got also a chapter on ethics and anthropology. So, for example, one question that you might be interested in, or whoever's reading it: should anthropologists work to eliminate the practice of female circumcision? This is a question I've considered myself. Do we go into another culture and sort of tell them what they can and can't do based on our own beliefs, or do we stay out of it? So that's something that I've sort of grappled with myself. So this that's why I chose this one to go look at. So if we go to issue 16, page 324, we can see that there are 2 different professors who are going to argue one way or the other. So we've got a professor of history and philosophy who is going to argue that yes, we should be eliminating this practice, and a professor of anthropology who is saying no, we shouldn't. We should just leave it alone. So there's a little bit of an intro on the issue of female circumcision and an outline of what each author is going to argue. So Marilee Salmon is arguing yes. So let's just go to her conclusion and see what she's argued. Summary of what she's argued. So I have reiterated some criticism of ethical relativism, a position which once seemed to offer anthropologists a way to profess tolerance and avoid criticizing the morality of some practices of other cultures. My arguments try to show not so much that ethical relativism is false, but that its consequences conflict with our deepest held moral intuitions, and that it cannot be held consistently while embracing those intuitions. I have tried to show also that anthropologists need not forego tolerance if they abandon relativism in favor of a morality based on principles of justice and fairness. The concern with justice that guides anthropologists' codes of professional conduct can provide the starting point for a more sophisticated analysis of rights, which can be used to analyze cultural practices. Ethical judgments of another culture's practice, especially when based on deep understanding of their life, customs, and tradition, are indicative neither of ethnocentrism nor of intolerance. Instead, they show respect for the basic anthropological belief in the psychic unity of humans and a commitment to justice and fairness for all. Okay, interesting. Let's go to the next guy and see what he's concluded. So this is Elliot Skinner. A bit of a different writing style. Not really a concluding statement. I'll just read the last paragraph, I suppose. The problem with blaming Kenyatta and other African men for clitoridectomy misses the important point that African women have always been in control of this ritual, until now when male doctors may perform it in modern hospitals, and probably used it to declare their equality with men. Faced with discrimination for not possessing those characteristics with which dominant social strata have linked their dominance, African women, like other women and subordinate groups, have striven to acquire the traits viewed as valuable. These practices vary cross-culturally in time and space, and can be as different as Japanese females surgically operating on their eyes to approximate those of American males during the occupation of their country, to certain American females bobbing their noses, and other Americans bleaching or darkening their skins, and still others dressing like males and creating female counterparts of such organizations as Masonic lodges, veteran groups, and institutions of higher learning. In many of these cases, the males or dominant groups whose characteristics were being imitated were not aware of the attempts to achieve equality with them or to win their favor. That they were responsible for the behavior in the first place may well have been true, but a dialectician like Robert Murphy, whose eyes were probably opened by his wife, Yolanda, would smile at the irony of it all. Interesting. Two different sort of takes on one topic. Another one that I'm interested in is, I'll just show you. Quite like all of these. This one looks good. Do museums misrepresent ethnic communities around the world? The other one that I was quite interested in is, does language determine how we think? So when I did my master's, I actually wrote a paper about that. And I quoted a man by the name of, very prominent in the field of linguistics, Steven Pinker. Is it Pinker or Pink? I think it's Pinker. And I just loved his book, so I actually want to get that again and read it through it. So, really interesting. Lots to talk about with Taking Sides.